Hi everyone, welcome to Outgrow's seasonal webinar. This time we are going to talk about how you and your business can adapt to the changing needs of a post-pandemic world, and especially a world that is seeing a rapid economic boom across the board. Now, before I continue, I want everyone who has registered for the webinar to know that you can claim a special 1-month extended trial of Outgrow, which you can use to make funnels, quizzes, calculators, contests, chatbots, forms, tests, and e-commerce recommendations. There are more than 1,000 templates available at the outgrow.co website that you can easily adapt for your business during this trial period. But anyway, coming back to the point at hand, post-pandemic shifts in customer preferences are expected to be significant. The Economist and the Wall Street Journal both predict that a historic economic boom is just around the corner. New business formation is surging across the world as entrepreneurs seek to fill gaps in the market. Growth and marketing strategies during this period will therefore need significant changes, if not a complete overhaul. We're going to have 5 panels to explore this topic. The first panel is with Yelp and Freshworks and is about how customer engagement has been revolutionized in the post-pandemic world. The second panel is with Ran Fishkin and Entreport and is about revised marketing and advertising strategies for the post-pandemic economic boom. The third panel is with Alibaba and Zoho and is about small and medium business tactics for the post-pandemic economic boom. The fourth panel is with Zapier and Aweber and is about automation and growth hacks in the post-pandemic economic boom. And finally, the fifth panel is with Unbounce and ConnectWell and is about landing page and interactive engagement in the post-pandemic economic boom. Welcome to Panel C. We are here with Anthony Ferreira, Head of US Sellers North America B2B at Alibaba.com, and Kassandra MR, Product Marketer at Zoho, and they're going to talk about small and medium business tactics for the post-pandemic economic boom. So without further ado, let's go on to the rapid fire round. Texting or talking?
Definitely texting.
Talking.
Your personal marketing mantra?
Keep it simple and keep it valuable and always consider what's in it for me.
The story lies in the benefits of the product. So don't just sell the product.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday.
Good Friday.
Scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you?
4 or 5.
9.
2022's biggest marketing trend?
For B2B content and B2B related marketing.
Holograms are going to be the next big thing.
Name one of the 7 dwarves.
Dopey.
Grumpy.
How many cups of coffee do you drink per day?
2 on a good day, 3 on a bad day.
I'm more of a tea person and just 1 cup.
What's something you could eat for a week straight?
Definitely tacos. I am a huge taco fan. Our office is right next to Los Tacos Numero Uno here in New York City.
Dosas. All day, every day.
Anthony Ferreira, Alibaba. What is the online global B2B e-commerce opportunity and how has it grown amid the pandemic?
You know, when people hear the term e-commerce, they mostly think about ordering, gadgets, groceries, gifts, etc., through popular, business to consumer retail platforms. But in business to business or B2B commerce, we're talking about a kind of a totally different method of trading. It's always between 2 businesses, thus the B2B, and it always generally involves bulk ordering, right? Larger transactions. So think shipping containers worth of goods, pallets worth of goods, truckloads worth of goods being traded between 2 companies. And that's a pretty vast opportunity. To give you a sense of the scale, the U.S. Trade Commission puts the global B2B e-commerce opportunity at about $24 trillion. That's about 6 times the size of the B2C market opportunity. Just to give you an idea of just how big and how broad B2C is and how pervasive it is in trade, it really is kind of the next generation of what is being digitized. So to tie that example a little bit closer back to Alibaba.com, our customers, both buyers and sellers, have an average order size of around $2,000, right? If you compare that to a most popular B2C marketplaces, they'll generally be anywhere in the $15 to $25 average order value range, right? So these are multitudes larger transactions, right, that are occurring between businesses. The other major difference between B2B and B2C e-commerce is the method in which the transactions are happening. In B2C commerce, you're mostly familiar with, you see an item you like the price, you put your credit card in, you check out, you pay, the item gets shipped to you. In B2B, it's a bit different. It's a little bit more relationship driven in the sense that businesses will generally want to negotiate price, negotiate shipping terms, negotiate payment terms. They may want to customize the item that they're purchasing and really develop a longer term relationship with their buyer or the seller, whichever side of the transaction that they're on, which is really quite a big difference from B2C trade. As it relates to the pandemic, what we're seeing is a real acceleration of the digitization for B2B companies. We effectively saw 2 decades of change take place in the span of a few months in terms of B2B penetration and B2B adoption among companies who effectively now need to go digital. It is no longer a luxury or something seen as a trend-setting thing. Buyers and sellers are online now, and that's where they're reachable, and that's where they feel most comfortable kind of interacting. So you really have to be there. In terms of our own data, we're constantly running our own surveys and talking to the market. One of the most recent surveys we ran in December of 2019, just prior to the pandemic, and again last September, post-pandemic, comparing the behaviors of businesses in the United States, revealed some really interesting things. It showed that nearly 80% of the people responding to the survey, again over 5,000 people surveyed, said that their B2B transactions grew over that same period post-pandemic from the first time that we surveyed them. And 42% saw increases in just online transactions, right? So B2B trade is increasing, and the percentage of those trades happening online is increasing at a really, really rapid rate, according to the feedback from our clients. Really it's just highlighting the fact that more and more of that $25 trillion global e-commerce opportunity is migrating online, which is really creating a void for the folks who want to get tech savvy and move their businesses online and to take advantage of the platforms that enable B2B trade and really cement themselves as a digital first, B2B enterprise.
What are the different types of online B2B marketplaces that small and medium-sized businesses can tap to get online and go global?
There are a bunch of different marketplace models and B2B selling models that are available out in the market. And it's really about understanding the core differences between them and selecting the model that fits your business and your strategy. So in our view, there's effectively 3 key models that I'll get into. The first is what we consider storefront technology as a solution, right? This is really a software that will allow you to customize a storefront, have a checkout, host your business online, and post products on kind of effectively your own website. So the benefits to this particular model is that it is highly, highly customizable, right? You can design it however you like. You can effectively build in whatever technology stack you want into it. You have complete and total control over the user experience and the user data. The drawback with these types of SaaS software solutions or storefront software solutions is that they come with effectively no audience, right? You have to drum up your own business, right? You have to drive your own traffic to the website, whether that's either through paid digital acquisition or organic acquisition, and that is a really, really difficult thing to do, and a really expensive thing to do if you're paying for the traffic. But still, a solution that we recommend for businesses. The second popular model is a marketplace platform, but a marketplace platform that the operator of the platform is also a seller. Right? So these types of marketplaces are quite popular, probably the most popular type of marketplaces. And so where there will be hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of third-party sellers on the platform. There are millions of buyers on the platform. And so you get your storefront and the ability to post your products, control your pricing. It's a bit more templated, a little less freedom and less control over the data than having your own, SaaS solution. And there's some built-in traffic there, which is great. The difference here is that in these types of marketplaces that you have to look out for is the marketplace operator competing with me? Do they have their own private label? Do they have full control over who owns the buy box, right? Do they set the rules on that? Because in that case, it can become really difficult as a B2B seller because you're effectively competing with the person who owns the platform, who owns all the data, which is effectively an impossible war to win, and something that you really have to consider when joining platforms like that. The third are pure marketplaces, which is what Alibaba.com considers itself. It is a technology platform that purely exists to match buyers and sellers. No commission is taken on any of the transactions on the platform, and Alibaba.com will never compete with the sellers on the platform, right? Our sole mission is to enable our sellers to grow and find buyers, and to enable our buyers to find the appropriate sellers for their needs, and build all the services, solutions, and software to enable that trade to happen on the terms of both the buyer and the seller in the way that they want to trade, right? A pure marketplace where we're at the service of the buyer and the seller is at the core of how Alibaba.com operates, and something that we pride ourselves on and really see as a point of distinguishing ourselves amongst our competitors. And so when you're considering what type of marketplace or what combination of marketplace models is good for you, really consider those three different examples that I provided, and try to figure out, okay, for my own strategy, for my business, which one or which combination of these works best to achieve my goals.
What type of businesses do online B2B marketplaces make sense for, and how can they use the marketplaces to growth hack their business?
In my opinion, B2B marketplaces make sense for just about any B2B company. Regardless of what they sell, there's generally some verticalized platform for your category or business strategy that exists or will soon exist to accommodate you. So from that regard, I think every B2B company needs to be online. I have yet to meet a company to date that would not benefit, at least to some degree, from going online and selling on a marketplace. Now, once you're on the marketplaces, it's important to understand kind of the value that you should be trying to acquire from that marketplace and how to achieve it. Specifically, in marketplaces, one of the points that I always try to discuss with our sellers is that it's competitive, right? It is not a SaaS solution, right? It is not. It is a competitive place where buyers and sellers are matching with each other, which means when you list your products on a marketplace, there are X amount other sellers in your business category, in your business type, that are competing for the same growing pool of buyers. And so for you to be able to really succeed, that means you have to outcompete those other sellers, right? And so really focusing your energy on understanding what is your competition doing. How can you provide more value to those customers? Is it on a price level? Is it on a service level? Are you committed to having better content, better images, better product titles? Are you willing to shoot videos on your product? How are you differentiating yourself from the competition on the platform to win the attention of those buyers? Because once you do win the attention of the buyers on a B2B marketplace, the value of that buyer is magnitudes higher than the value of a new buyer on a B2C marketplace. Going back to an earlier point that I made, B2B transactions are generally not only much bigger in terms of average order value, they generally are much more frequent, where I may go to a B2C commerce marketplace and buy a pair of shoes and maybe never ever buy a pair of shoes from that website or company again. Generally in B2B, an order is the start of a relationship. An order is the start of an account between a buyer and a seller, where their businesses can grow with each other. Whether that buyer is reselling that good or using that good to operate their business. As that buyer's business grows, so does the seller's, right? The subsequent orders get bigger, and the business between the two continues to grow to the mutual benefit of both parties. So get on these marketplace platforms, understand your competition, understand what they're doing and what you can do to stand out from them, so that you can attract those buyers, because the value of those buyers is so high that it doesn't take many to really have an extraordinarily positive ROI from these B2B marketplaces that you're joining. Specifically, just considering Alibaba.com, we are fully designed to accommodate this kind of growth hacking behavior. We want our sellers to compete with each other and offer the best service and the best product to our buyers. We allow our sellers and our buyers to connect with each other, negotiate on our platform. We have services and solutions to help facilitate trades should they happen. We have tools to facilitate translations should the buyer be in a different country, so that you can access not just US demand, but global demand. And so, as I've mentioned earlier, with the B2B e-commerce opportunity growing rapidly, the time is now to get in early and really cement yourself as a player in these B2B marketplaces, because again, the sooner you do that, the more of a reputation you establish, the better off you'll be in the years to come.
Zoho, Kassandra. Most businesses globally were pushed to the brink of extinction as the pandemic swept the world, but some businesses, irrespective of their size, funds, and offerings, survived. What did they do right?
Businesses that focus on the experience can survive any type of disruption. Most businesses tend to prioritize their customer as the end target when they face roadblocks. But businesses that actually survive are ones that value their resources, especially the human capital. A huge part of the success of navigating over turbulent waters is when you prioritize your crew as you reach your destination. Because if you only save yourself, you arrive empty-handed, and the customer at the destination is still left dissatisfied. But save your crew and take them safe and sound, and you're going to serve your customer with a wholesome experience that they'll cherish for a lifetime.
How has the business landscape changed since the pandemic, and what are the key insights we can draw from this?
The pandemic has forced businesses into the digital transformation phase. The key learning that most businesses encountered during this phase was that people don't have to come to them. The need of the hour was to bring the store or service experience to the customer. And this omnipresence across communication as well as distribution channels could predominantly be achieved only with a digital intervention. From your vegetable vendor across the street to large corporations across the world, digital interactions and transactions were the key to smooth, safe, and convenient shopping experiences. Thus, the business landscape stays forever changed, with the digital aspect of things being a must have for all types of organizations. This unexpected digital boom has equally shocked and challenged digital service providers. They've had to scale up and speed up orders to meet the demand that they'd usually realize over half a decade in just a couple of months.
Despite investing in the best software and tools, employees are resistant to change. Why is
You may have invested in top class gadgets and tools for employees running from pillar to post, crunching numbers on the go. But mobility and access solve only one aspect of the problem. Too much information can be paralyzing and slows down efficiency. So, as a sales rep, time is money, and spotting the right information at the right time and place with ease is the ultimate goal. When using a business app becomes as easy as accessing Spotify, for instance, the adoption rates definitely tend to increase. Everything at the end always depends on the experience. Tools become valuable when they're fluid enough to fit the task. With Canvas for Zoho CRM, admins can use a simple drag and drop editor to build a completely new layout that highlights only the most relevant information for sales reps and any other employee from different departments. When it comes to data heavy modules, you can adjust the color, spacing, and even the padding of cells to create a whole new look. CRM admins who need a quick fix can always rely on our pre-built templates that are industry and department specific.